Everybody on Facebook. Hey there, everybody on Instagram. I'm Donna Hoffman, the interior design advocate. Get off the specs because I don't need them to be able to see you right now. We are here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We like to stop whatever we're doing, come out and chat with you about the lesson of the week, take your questions. And hello, I see some waves coming on Instagram. Hope you guys can hear me on Facebook. Please let us know if you can. We have a new camera, which is why it looks all sharp and crisp on Facebook. But I have a feeling I either sound like Minnie Mouse or you're lip reading and can't hear me at all. I don't know if our microphone is working. So somebody let me know. Oh, I think people can hear me because I'm seeing hellos come in. All right, lovelies. So I cannot believe that it's October and before we sneeze, it's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas and holiday guests are going to be coming. So that room, that dreaded room that you haven't been paying attention to, the guest room, womp womp. A lot of people are wondering, what can I do that's fast, that's not super high cost? So there are a bunch of things we can talk about to help you facelift the room or just spruce the room. Oh boy, I think I'm showing the girls here. Sorry, my little black top keeps mushing down. Katie, you gotta let me know if there's too much of a cleavage sighting. I'm sorry, my mother raised a very shy girl. I can't help it. I can't help it. I will tell you that after my mom died, about 2 weeks later, I went out shopping and I bought a t-shirt that I thought was low cut. And I said, hey, Steve, how do you like this t-shirt? And he looked at me, he said, that's a V-neck. That's what normal people wear as a V-neck shirt. That is not a low cost shirt. I adored my mom, but she definitely made me very shy about showing stuff. But anyway, there you go. You didn't need to hear all that. Let's talk about some guest room refreshes and some guest room facelifts. So there are two types of guest rooms, really. There's the solo guest room, and then there's that double duty guest room. And the double duty guest room, I'm not going to talk about that right now. Maybe for 2019, we'll talk a little bit about it, some goals you might have for a dual use guest room. But when you talk about just the solo guest room that's got a bed in it, it's not also an office, it's not also a something else room, here are some super low cost things you can do that I always love doing when I have company coming. I love to do a little TLC bag. And the TLC bag is something that you're just going to fill with some products and put it on the beautifully made bed, and they're just for someone's comfort. It's maybe got a lip balm in it and a hand cream in it, and maybe a nice pair of slipper socks. And guys, you can do this at the dollar store. It doesn't have to be like super expensive. And maybe a couple of great magazines, a People magazine, and maybe, I don't know, some other, light reading magazine if somebody can't sleep at night. And then by the bed, a bottle of water and a really pretty water glass. Or if you want to get a little fancy schmancy, do a little carafe to hold some water and a water glass next to the bed. So think about some creature comforts that you can put into a guest room. You don't have to spend a lot, but you can really make your guests feel super special, and you really went out of your way to do something special for me. And along those creature comfort lines, you can also certainly add fresh flowers next to the bed. Love doing that. But also a nice fresh plant. And if you say, hey, the thumb is not green, nothing, doesn't make anything grow, okay, so get a beautiful plant or even a live orchid that is going to just kick the bucket after the guests leave. But there's something about a fresh plant in a room, by a bedside or on the desk in the room or on the dresser in the room, that really will, again, add some nice new energy to the room and make it feel really fresh and wonderful. Something else you want to think about doing is a nice throw at the foot of the bed, just so if somebody's a little cold at night. Don't know if you turn your heat down as low as Mr. Hoffman does, but if you live with somebody who does that, a little throw so you're not completely freezing out your guests is also really nice to have as well. Those are the super low cost things. The other thing I would say to do that's a zero cost, edit the room. For so many people, the guest room is throw it in the guest room, right? Oh, what am I going to do with that extra off-season clothing? Throw it in the guest room. That chair we took out of the living room, throw it in the guest room. Well, get all that crap out of the guest room and start creating breathing room. Open up the corners. So you're creating a room that has kind of a lighter, easier feeling to it, right? So if you want to spend a little bit of money, going a little bit beyond these little creature comfort ideas that we have, and then the light, frooping and fluffing and puffing, and you really want to do a little facelifting, biggest bang for the buck is always your bedding. Now, if you don't want to go for a whole, throw out everything you have and go all in, first thing you can do is just fresh new linens. And I mean everything down to the, the sheets, to the pillowcases, and also the pillows that go inside. And again, you can go to a Target and buy a new sleeping pillow for $10. It doesn't have to be, you know, tens and 50s and hundreds that you're dropping in the store to just refresh your existing bedding with some fresh new sheets. Will make a big difference. Do that little TLC bag, the flowers and the water by the bedside, and your guests will feel really beautifully taken care of. If in addition to new sheets and new sleeping pillow, you want to go a little bit more, well, then I would add a really pretty coverlet. Instead of doing a duvet, you can just do a really handsome coverlet, something really simple that will work with the other colors you have in your room. Great cataloger like the Company Store. I don't have a relationship with them. I'm just telling you it's a great resource for a quick turnaround, right? Catalog, because you got to do something fast, no custom. The holidays are around the corner, really. But a beautiful new coverlet, and you can take your existing comforter or duvet and just accordion fold it at the base of your bed. Forget the throw unless the throw goes onto a chair in the room. And then, again, you're just continuing to take that big, lots of square footage in the room area, the bed, and by broadcasting something new and fresh on it, you really will change the room. So the zero cost ideas are more about fluff and puff, adding fresh flowers, adding some creature comforts. Mid cost would be more, like changing just the linens or the bedding as well. Something else you want to think about doing that you can add to a guest room, which doesn't mean purchasing new furniture or new draperies or any of that. Freshen up all of your towels that you're going to be using in the guest bath, and then sitting on the bed, beautifully folded the way they might in a hotel resort. You can have, the bath towel, a fresh new bath towel and hand towel waiting for your guests again. So when he or she or your mom and dad or your aunt and uncle, when they come into the room, or your sister, they really feel like there's something special waiting for them, that you went that extra mile. Something that then starts to get a little bit more costly if you have the wherewithal and the bandwidth, go a little deeper on that bed. Keep all the furniture in the room as is, but how about a new headboard? Depending upon where you shop and how you shop, you may be able to find something online or something that you can turn around pretty quickly without having to go custom. Because again, it's at the 16th of October, looking at my little calendar there. And gosh, Thanksgiving is, 5 weeks away, 4 weeks away, something like that. So you definitely don't have too much time to start putting things on order, but a fresh new headboard could really be beautiful to spruce up the room. And then if you want to go a little bit more heavy in, new paint, always a great way to instantly refresh your room. Can be a zero cost or almost zero cost, just the cost of the paint. If you do it yourself or invite a girlfriend or two over and bring in some food and have a little painting party to refresh your room. And you can also do some special things in the room. Last time we were out here with you during a Facebook Live, we were talking about doing, accent walls, and what a great way to add a big bang for the buck, low cost flourish in a room. Well, certainly guest rooms, you don't want to spend a lot in those rooms, but an accent wall behind the bed could be really beautiful. Or you can do a beautiful contrast color on a ceiling. That could be really beautiful as well. Now, if you really want to go a little heavier in and start really redesigning that room, well, then you can start thinking about doing something with the furniture. Now, I'm not talking about buying new furniture, but I am talking about, shopping your home to see what could I put into this room as a spare chair, as an accent chair, so somebody has someplace cozy to relax when we're all done with dinner and they're not quite ready to go to bed, but they want a little quiet time before they, go to bed, or when they're watching TV. Nice chair to sit in, someplace else from someplace else in your home. Always shop your home first. In fact, you can do a new bedside table. It doesn't have to have drawers. It doesn't have to be an official bedside table. It could be a former end table that you had elsewhere in your home, and it doesn't even have to have drawers to it. It can just be something that's just decorative and pretty, and there you go. Or just adding some new bedside lamps. So you can do little shifts in the room without doing the full Monty, okay? Now, if you have a question about a guest room that you're trying to reinvigorate or reinvent, feel free to put that in. I'm almost done with this lesson. I'm happy to take your questions live about guest rooms, and we can even mold that into bedroom, master bedroom, or bedroom questions for any type of bedroom. I'll be happy to take those questions as well. I'll tell you too that if you want to really think about a gift to give yourself in 2019 regarding that guest room that is not very often used, maybe you do want to think about what kind of dual purpose room you could turn it into for 2019. We've designed guest rooms for clients that were not just, it's an office and a guest room, but it's also a craft room and a guest room, or it's a meditation room and a guest room. So there are different dual purposes that you can kind of tackle with that guest room involvement as well. But this way you're taking back some of that square footage that you're paying for every month in your rent check or your mortgage payment. So just a couple of ideas for you there. Do want to let you know that next week we're going to be talking about actually a topic we didn't originally have on the schedule, but I am getting flooded. My inbox is flooded. My project manager, Sandy, her inbox is flooded with email after email about pricing increases that are coming down the pike right now through year end as well as after year end in all category of home product, from furnishings to accessories to lighting. So I want to talk to you about that next week. How to be wise when you're shopping for your home, for furnishings and other home product. Maybe some things you want to think about doing before year end as opposed to after the new year. But we'll talk about that next week. We're calling it, what are we calling it? We're calling it, put on the old specs, we're calling it must know information for shopping for furniture and more for your home. Snappy title, don't you think? And I do want to let you know too that while we're waiting for questions, if there are questions, and if there aren't, we'll scooch out of here. But want to let you know, if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and you guys are already on Instagram with us, but you guys, you can follow us at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius, to follow us on Instagram at the Interior Design Advocate, because the Interior Design Advocate is where we do all of our teaching for DIY design lovers, people working on their own home, really dedicated to having the most beautiful home possible. And on that Instagram feed, you'll see inspiration with a lesson attached to it. If you want to see what we're doing at our design studio, then you want to follow us at IDH Designs. That's at IDH Designs. And that's where you'll see the project work that we're working on at the moment, or the muddy site visit I'm doing, but while we're doing this like tricked out, master bedroom, or this tricked out kitchen, that sort of thing. So I'm getting my handy dandy, very high-tech things from Katie. Questions coming in. Katie has such nice handwriting. All right, Katie, so there are questions coming in. Martina is telling me that I sound good. That means that the microphone is working. Good. Gail Benchner just joined. Hello, Gail. Gail is one of my all-time favorite peeps in the world. Loved designing for Gail. Total sweetheart and brilliant woman that she is. Hello from Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Hello from Noreen. Getting a lot of hellos. Great. Awesome. Okay, Lauren is asking. Lauren Ibrahim is asking, do bedrooms and living areas that are all carpeted benefit from having area rugs, or should you put a rug only on hard floors? Okay, Lauren, that's a great question. And I get asked that question a lot. Here's the story. Desperate times call for desperate measures. If you have wall-to-wall carpeting in a bedroom and the budget is such that you are just not going to be changing it, you're not going into hardwood, I have absolutely, when push comes to shove for clients, I've put an area rug into a bedroom over carpet. Is it ever the first place a designer would go? No. That's why you never see it on Pinterest. You don't see it in the design magazines. You don't see it on House. We don't win design awards as designers by doing that. It's not the first thing one would do. However, I worked on a guest room for a client about 4 or 5 years ago. We were working through a lot of their home, and design gets expensive. So they said, look, we want to just freshen up the guest room a little bit, but we really don't want to put a lot of dollars into it. So we were able to reuse furniture that we were moving out of other areas, and we did add an area rug, Lauren, under the bed, just to bring more color and pattern and interest into a room that had this very, very quiet carpet. So I would sooner see you do it in a bedroom than I would in a living room. But you're living in an apartment and you've got carpet that you can't do anything about, and you absolutely hate that carpet, or you love pattern on the floor. With your design fingerprint, Lauren, maybe you would tell me, Donna, I love movement on the floor. I love color on the floor. Well, if that's the case, you're not going to be able to hit that mark very well with wall-to-wall carpet, right? So if you must, desperate times call for desperate measures, and there's no whining and designing. We don't, cry into our teacup saying, oh, I can't afford to do X, or I can't do this because of my landlord. Just ignore the carpet and pop a rug on if you must. Like I said, as a professional designer, at times I have done it, but when I have, it's been in a master bedroom or in a guest room, not an open concept. I wouldn't do it. I think it'll look really strange. And so, Lauren, if you have a follow-up, or you'd like to tell me, where in another type of room other than a bedroom, you're thinking of doing a carpet, feel free and type, you can send in a follow-up. All right, so let's see if there are other questions coming in. Scoopity boo. Lori Jarrett Lewis wants to know, Donna, what are your thoughts of having a small refrigerator in a guest room? That's a fun idea. Lori, I'm doing this wickedly cool, or Katie and I are doing this wickedly cool master bedroom suite. And there is a built-in coffee bar. It's tricked out. This couple doesn't ever have to leave their room if they don't feel like it. So here's the story. Why not? If you have a guest that's coming for a long stay, maybe your mother-in-law is going to be coming for a month, or I don't know, maybe there's something going on and someone will be staying with you for a period of time. Maybe your niece is going to stay with you and go to college, living out of your home for a while, and you want to make it easier for them to have a little privacy and creature comforts without having to come into your kitchen to grab another, I don't know, LaCroix. Why not? As long as it's pretty. I wouldn't do it if it's out in the world. I would put it into the closet so that because they're not beautiful looking things. And I think guest rooms, aesthetically, you want to keep them really lovely, feeling fresh and wonderful and beautiful, so your guests are happy spending time in them. So great idea, Lori. I would just conceal it. Linda wants to know another idea. Oh, I love this, Linda. Yes, I meant to say it, so thank you. Linda said she added a luggage rack with a shoe shelf to her guest room, and her guests appreciated having a place for their suitcase. I love that. And oh, what catalog, Katie, recently arrived? I saw great looking, it might have been the front gate catalog. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Great looking luggage racks, so that the tape wasn't just plain tape. It was actually, one had a Greek key in it as the tape, and it was almost tone on tone, and one had an interesting stripe on the tape. So they were really decorative and pretty. And maybe you should just Google decorative luggage racks, that sort of thing. More ticker tape, interesting things coming in from Katie. Ooh, this is a whole thing. It's a whole question coming in from Instagram. Jean wants to know, white bedding doesn't work with my wicker that looks whitewashed over light brown. It looks beige or peachy. What colors should I be looking for? I got to read this again, Jean, because I'm not understanding the question. Okay, white bedding doesn't work with your wicker. Your wicker looks whitewashed over light brown. Yes, therefore it would look beige or peachy. What colors should I be looking for? Okay, what color bedding would I put over whitewashed? Yeah, definitely wouldn't do white. In fact, I'm working on a white in a bathroom, and the tile isn't white, so you got to watch the whole white thing. I'd go in the opposite direction of white, Jean. I don't know what else you have in that room, but if you have, I don't know, dusty plum, or if you have gray in that room, and you could do just about anything, but stay away from white. And Jean, if you do anything that has a pattern on it on a white background, watch out. You sounds like you might want more of a tea-stained background if you're going to do something that has a pattern, like I don't know, trellis kind of something. But you may want to avoid entirely anything that has a white background to it, unless it's a dirty white. But you could do any color, Jean, so you're really well poised there. Any color but white, so I'd stay away from that. Okay, great question. Really, God, you are the thinking women's women, or the thinking woman's women. Final two questions, Katie is telling me. So I'm going to scooch down. Okay, let's see. Jennifer Yuri is saying, okay, I don't know. She's commenting on something. Sharon wants to know, what's your opinion of luxury vinyl flooring for a bedroom? I don't love it. Kind of cold. In a bedroom, I would do carpet, area rug, tile. Oh no, I take it back. In a bedroom, you could do luxury LVC, I guess you're talking about like a faux wood LVC. Yeah, you could do it. But then you're going to want to do a rug on top of that, probably to, warm that up, as you would with a wood floor as well. But I don't mind it at all. We don't get asked to do a lot of LVC, just because we're a luxury design company, and the clients we work with tend to want luxury product. They want woods, they want solid wood. Engineered wood might be something that sometimes is done, when the budget is really being pressed. But so I don't have a lot of experience with LVC myself, so I'll be honest with you, but I think it's come a long way when I see it in showrooms, so I don't have a problem with it. Almost gave you a knee-jerk response, but I'm okay. I'm blessing it for you, Sharon. All right, last two questions. Wendy wants to know, Wendy Lynn Belanger wants to know, can I make my guest bedroom a different color from the rest of my house? Yes. Pink in a beige house with red accents. Ooh. Oh, if it's visible from the living area. Wendy, if it has a door, I say do whatever you want in the guest room and the powder room. I mean, here's a story, Wendy. I'm going to back up. I get this question a lot. Do you have to run the same color through an entire home? Depends on who's living in that home. Gail Benchner, who just joined me, one of our clients. Gail is very sensitive to a lot of color and a lot of change and movement. So we kept her color palette very consistent and quiet through her entire home. Another client we're designing for right now, in her main living spaces, she wants a controlled color palette with grays and creams and navies. But up, in her bedroom, she wanted it even quieter. No navy, a lot of, creams, grays, and blacks. Down in the sublevel where there's a tricked out bar, we've got red going on and these like really great, vibrant things happening. So when you do a contiguous color palette, as I've said in some of my Facebook Lives, if you've been with us for those about paint and color selection in a home, when you have a contiguous color palette weaving through a residence, your home just feels larger. I don't care if it's an apartment, a townhouse, a detached home, an attached home, it just will feel larger. But I always say that even within that, in a powder room, something with a door, you can do something different. I'm doing something off of a media room right now that is it's an enclosed space with a door on it, and so I don't feel like I have to honor what's happening in that media room. I just got to move this up. This is really driving me crazy. I am so embarrassed, and I'm out here flashing the world with stuff. Sorry. So I would say that if your color palette is so different and there's no door, okay. If it's just an area that's more of an alcove, I would be careful about doing it. We did kind of what you're talking about, Wendy, in an in-law suite. The home itself, the main residence was lots of creams and pale grays and whites, but the in-law suite, this wonderful woman that lived there, she wanted what you're talking about. She wanted raspberry pink and red and white, and we gave it to her, but there was a door that closed off that part of the residence to her in-law suite. So hope that answers you. One more question. I don't see any more questions coming in. Okay, here's Jean. I cannot move this, Katie. So is the entire question from Janelle. Are twin beds a no-no in a guest room? Trying to decide if I should replace. I don't have a problem with that at all, Janelle. And I'll be honest with you. We're doing a guest room now. And right now we're doing it so that we have a queen bed in it. But the family we're working with said, you know what, we may want to switch this into twin beds once we start having grandkids. Can you space plan the room so we know we have room for it either way? So that's what I would tell you to do. Space plan the room in like 2 iterations. If you think one day you'll want to convert out of a twin into a queen or a full, make sure you thought about that ahead of time, okay? And that should help you. But I have no problem. Beautiful guest rooms with twin beds. And, this way, if you have siblings coming over to stay that are, a boy and a girl, they might be happier, or cousins are staying, a boy and a girl, got to have everybody bunking up in the same room. Twin beds are a great way to go. So there you go. Well, my lovelies, I have to tell you, I really enjoyed being out here with you today. It was a sad start to a day for us and our family. We had some bad news about an uncle of ours passing, so I've been a little droopy and weepy today, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it out here with you, but I slapped on the makeup and got it together, and it was really nice spending time with you, so thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. All right, lovely. So listen, I'm going to wrap it out of here. I've got more work to do. Got to try to focus. I've been having a little trouble focusing today. Join us next week, 4 p.m. Eastern, for a real deep dive into what to be careful about when you're shopping for furniture, when you're shopping for anything in your home right now, and what do you need to know? What's in the news room here in the interior design world that we're being told to just kind of, buckle your seatbelt, get ready for what's coming down the pike. So if you're on the fence about doing some shopping year end versus into the new year for certain types of things for your home, you might want to move sooner than later, but you definitely want to join us this coming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, dolls and dollettes, I will see you next week. Hugs and kisses. And if you like this video, please give us a share on Facebook. Bye, everybody.